Speed plus excitement equals Talladega. It's where the stock car record book is written.
And here comes the red and white milling Coors, Ford, Thunderbird, Bill Elliott trying to break the track record and wrestle the pole away from Davey Allison with a strength. Bill Elliott posting a speed that is in excess of the track record, 212.809.
Talladega is decided the fastest 500 ever. Bill Elliott outdistanced the competition to average 186.288 miles an hour in 1985. 26, the record for most number of leaders in a race. Bobby Allison passed Dale Earnhardt last year and won this event. And this track has a record for most lead changes, 75. Can Allison repeat as champion? ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. It's race day at Talladega. The Winston 500 Winston Cup race is about to go under partly the starting lineup for the 18th annual Winston 500. On the front row with a new qualifying record of 212.809 in the Coors Belling Ford, Bill Elliott, number 9. Outside of row number 1 will be the Miller American Buick, number 22, driven by Bobby Allison from nearby Hueytown, Alabama. His son will start inside second row, Davey Allison in the number 28 Haviland Ford. And outside of row number 2 will be Darrell Waltrip, qualifying at 210.471 in the Tide Exxon Chevrolet. Going in the third row, Dale Earnhardt in number 3, the Wrangler GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. Outside of row number 3 will be car number 21, the Citgo Ford, driven by Kyle Petty. Going in row number 4, Sterling Marlin in the number 44 Piedmont Airlines Oldsmobile. Alongside will be the Budweiser Kentucky Fried Chevrolet number 11, driven by Terry Labonte. In the 5th row, Phil Parsons in the Fast Fair Copenhagen Oldsmobile number 55. Outside of the 5th row will be Lake Speed in number 83, the Wins Kmart Friction Proving Oldsmobile. Going in row number 6 will be Jeff Bodine. In car number 5, the Levi Garrett Exxon Chevrolet. Buddy Baker will start alongside Jeff in number 8, the Crisco Bullfrog Knits Oldsmobile. In the 7th row, Ron Bouchard in car number 1, the Bullseye Barbecue Sauce Buick. And outside of him will be Rusty Wallace in the Kodak Pontiac, car number 27. In the 8th row, it'll be number 90, the Red Baron Frozen Pizza Ford, driven by Ken Schrader. And Bobby Hillen Jr. in the number 8 Miller American Buick. In the 9th row, number 15, the Motorcraft Ford, driven by Ricky Rudd, and the number 29 Hardee's Oldsmobile, driven by Cale Yarborough. Then in the 10th row, it'll be Morgan Shepherd in the Quaker State Buick number 26, and Benny Parsons in the Folgers Exxon Chevrolet number 35. The rest of the starting lineup will be Neil Bonnet in car number 75 and Greg Saxon 50 in row 11. The 12th row has Joe Ruttman and Michael Waltrip. In the 13th row, Richard Petty and Harry Gant. Going in row number 14, Rick Wilson and Alan Kulwicki. Row 15 consists of Ken Reagan and Ed Pym. The 16th row, Chet Phillip and Connie Saylor. In row number 17, Mark Stahl and Eddie Bierschwal. In row number 18, Dave Marcus and Slick Johnson. In the 19th row, Phil Barkdahl and Dale Jarrett. In row number 20, Rick Knoop and Steve Chrisman. And starting 41st, the provisional starter, Jimmy Means in car number 52. We have the world's longest and fastest racetrack, Talladega, Alabama. They come through the tri-oval. The pace car pulls off. The crowd now begins to cheer as Bill Elliott and Bobby Allison come down through the 18 degrees of banking in the tri-oval, looking for the green flag that will start this event. Let's watch them. If everything looks good, the green flag will go out. There it is, the acceleration. The pace picks up and the Winston 500 is underway. Side-by-side racing through turns number 1 and 2. Bill Elliott has grabbed the lead. Rather, Davey Allison will jump into second position and chase Bill Elliott down the backstretch. And here comes Sterling Marlin. Look at him move on the inside of the racetrack, passing Bobby Allison and going to third.
The world's biggest, longest, and fastest trophy dash, side by side, 2, 3, and 4 abreast around 2.66 miles of Talladega.
The first lap about to be completed. Bill Elliott will lead it, followed by Davey Allison. Then Sterling Marlin in third. Running in fourth is Allison. Then Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, and Terry Labonte as they head to number 1 again.
Seventh about 4 laps ago, and he's been steadily rising. He just passed Dale Earnhardt about a lap ago. Bobby Allison is next up. Son Davey should be next. You can see Earnhardt, the yellow car still in the picture. But Buddy Baker, who has a lot of sentiment among veteran observers, as one of the real threats.
Oh, we have a problem.
Is blowing the tire.
Bobby Allison with a horrible crash here on the front stretch. It has torn out a complete section of protective railing separating it. Alan Kulwicki becomes involved.
Debris and is collecting other cars. There was a lot of debris in the front stretch. Kulwicki was involved. Richard Petty, I think, is another one of the cars. Lots of debris on the front stretch. Now, Bobby's car, to me, appeared to stay together quite well. He did get up into the fencing, but not into the stands.
And it was close, though. He has torn out a whole large area of guardrail. There it is, protecting the crowd from the racetrack, and he came very, very close to going into the stands. The car became airborne and went flying literally into that wall and catch fencing, but fortunately it did stay onto the racetrack. Bobby Allison is moving around in the race car, and that is certainly good news for us, but he has to be quite shaken after a tremendous crash. The red flag has been brought out, and quite frankly, Larry, I think we're going to have to be red for quite a while, because we cannot race with that protective fencing in the shape that it's in. It's just not safe for this. I think I saw a tire coming apart while he was right here in the tri-oval, nearing the starting line.
Right rear, it begins to shred, and the car goes out of control. You're at 210 miles an hour. You can see the right rear going. You see the debris there on the left-hand side of your screen. Earnhardt avoids Bobby. The car goes backwards. The aerodynamics get underneath the car, and Allison gets up into the fence. The aerodynamics lifted the car. They're not built to go backwards. Right underneath Harold Kinder. Harold, he stayed in there. Boy, I'll tell you, talk about a trooper. Kinder is right there. He's got the yellow flag out right away. That is a veteran, competent flagman. Here comes the rest of the field down. They've decelerated to maybe 180 miles an hour, but all the debris, there's Petty, there's Kulwicki spinning. There's just nowhere for many of these drivers to go, because there's so much of what was left over from the initial impact on the front stretch, and there was just nowhere to go.
And tires began to explode too as they ran over debris caused by the Allison crash. Well, it's very clearly have gone into the grandstand right below us here in the broadcast booth. There's a tire going.
Here's another angle of it, and we'll just let you watch it because we've covered it well.
There goes Darrell Waltrip going by without becoming involved in it, but as I said, as the cars came down now, they were running over the debris of the Allison car, and tires were blowing, and therefore they became involved in the crash. There's Petty, Alan Kulwicki, Phil Parsons made contact with the Bobby Allison car. We understand that is brand new catch fencing up here, and boy, we just salute the people here at Talladega for building it as strong as they did. There is a stretcher that we can see down there, a couple of stretchers as a matter of fact, being lifted into the grandstand area, so perhaps there were some spectators that were hit by flying debris. Cale Yarborough, this is at real speed, so it'll be just as Cale saw it. As if Cale pretty much had it saved as they're trying to repair the catch fencing, which will have to be repaired before we could start the race again. Darrell Waltrip's car also was damaged slightly in that accident. Now, while we are red here, the crews cannot make any repairs to the cars, so it'll have to go into the pit area after we resume this race. 22 laps have been completed now. And the ruling from the NASCAR record book is that you can't make repairs during a red flag, but NASCAR Winston Cup officials have made an exception here. The danger situation involved Darrell Waltrip, whose windshield was cracked in that incident, and so the Winston Cup officials have allowed them to replace the windshield on the grid right now. just because of safety reasons. Let's go down.
Because somebody waves at you, you might give him the acknowledgement. That doesn't mean that you are obligated to follow suit and do what it looks like it was indicated to be done. As you can see the situation right there, Lake Speed as he darts down to the inside of Rick Wilson after trailing him for the last couple of laps. Does he have the advantage? Well, no. Rick is holding on. Oh, they get very close going through turn 3 and 4. Just not enough momentum to get by that time.
Oh, we have a car spinning.
It looked like Harry Gant.
Car spinning is Harry Gant to the inside of the racetrack. Now he goes up into the banking, and another car collides with him. Heavy contact with the wall in turn number 4.
Looked like Ricky Rudd. The paint job looks like Bud Moore's number 15. There's Harry, who started it. He was spinning down on the bottom of the track near the apron. He was racing, but normally you are. Now remember, Harry's car is green and white. Let's see if we can pick it up on the screen. The spin has already begun. There is Schrader just jerking just a little bit to try and get around him. Wow, right in Ricky Rudd's path. Ricky was just trying to make the only move that he could, and that was to squeeze between Harry and the track, or the outer retaining wall of the track, and there just wasn't enough room, and more importantly, not enough time.
Nowhere to go. Look at the impact. Tremendous. Ricky Rudd hitting the rear end of Harry Gant's car, then coming in contact with the wall, and some badly damaged machinery, but no driver injuries as Ricky Rudd and Harry Gant have both climbed out. And here's the shot that we had on the air. Harry is the third car in line. There he loses it.
I tell you, it was right directly in front of Ken Schrader, and it was not possible to tell from that angle whether or not there was contact.
No. Here they come down the backstretch. It's Earnhardt.
Who can push whom the furthest, the farthest, the fastest?
Kyle Petty also showing some muscle there behind all of this. There is Kyle on the low side of the racetrack. Below, Lake Speed.
Davey Allison encouraging Dale Earnhardt along. Bill Elliott pushing Rusty Wallace. And Terry Labonte trying to pick a hole. Which lane is the fastest?
Oh, it was too close to call. I think Wallace will get credit for leading that lap also, but it was close with Earnhardt.
Rusty washes high.
Look at Elliott. Elliott low side passes. Rusty, though, hanging right in there. Look at this great competition. Down the backstretch, Davey Allison is right on the back bumper of Bill Elliott. And now Allison goes for it on the low side. Look, oh, they almost touch. Unbelievable. Allison has the lead. Kyle Petty is coming on the low side.
Too good to talk about.
Boy, we got to settle down. We're still 68 laps away from the end of this race.
So much better.
Crash in turn 2.
We've got a problem in turn 2.
A car sliding to the bottom of the racetrack. I believe that's Ken Reagan, is it not?
Yeah, Kenny Reagan, number 77. Did not see it develop. There was some flame as the car was coming down the banking. Apparently, it has snuffed out. Now, the interesting move here is, if there is a move by everybody, will everybody pit? Will people try to make last-minute adjustments in an effort to catch Davey Allison? Will Davey come in? Are they completely happy? Have they saved one set of tires? We have seen many Winston Cup races won at this very moment. One car. What if Davey Allison, Joey Knuckles and crew, they're not the first one out? Will he still have the oomph to get around everybody? Darrell Waltrip momentarily caught up behind him. He probably forgot for just a couple of seconds there that Davey pitted down near turn number 4.
They're going to put new tires on the right side of the car. That car working very well, but Davey apparently thinks it can go faster. There, meanwhile, is some work being done on the Terry Labonte Jr. Johnson car as Labonte is on the bottom and Allison on the top of your screen. Now they're changing, rubber on both sides. Junior Johnson himself doing some work on the passenger side of the windshield on the Terry Labonte car. Davey Allison's work is completed. He goes back out there. Terry Labonte remaining, though, in the pit area. There he goes.
Excuse me, Bob. All of Joey's years, look at there. Earnhardt beats them out of the pits. They beat Hillen Jr. out. But Dale Earnhardt is the first one out of the pits. All of Joey Knuckles' years of experience paid off over the years with Cale Yarborough.
Well, NASCAR, we understand, has just announced that in 10 more laps, this race will end. And that is because, I assume, of darkness. It will be 10 laps from the point of the green flag. It is getting rather dark here, but we're only 21 laps away from the official finish of the race, but they say in 10 green laps, and it will be ending.
Boy, that really does scramble everybody's mind just a bit, because Davey Allison was sitting back there thinking, hey, I know I've had the superior car today. I've got 20 laps. I can take my time. In 10 laps, you don't have to rush it, but you can't take your time either. You got to attack right away. And then the question becomes for people like Terry Labonte and Rusty Wallace is right now in third. As we're looking at Kenny Reagan, remember Kenny Reagan had a serious back injury. He broke his back in a motor crash a couple of years ago. But back to the leaders.
Green is out.
Great start, Dave.
Allison right on the rear bumper of Dale Earnhardt as they go into one. Let's see when and if Davey makes a move. He's looking high in turns 1 and 2. Earnhardt also drifts high. Off the second corner, down the flat backstretch at Talladega, Allison makes the move to the inside. He's got him. Allison goes into the lead.
Is Allison quick today or not? Now, all Davey's got to do, Rusty moving up to challenge Dale Earnhardt. All Davey's got to do, he's got the machine. Just get out front, Davey. Grab yourself about 10 car lengths and enjoy the racing behind you.
9 laps.
He still definitely has a shot at the runner-up spot.
And now there are just 2 more laps to go. The interval between first and second is closing. Labonte is catching Davey Allison. We could have a contest for the lead, let alone second place.
I sense that Davey is being extra special careful, Bob. He has a 2-lap advantage. He can get out of the throttle by maybe a 1/16 of an inch. That's probably stretching it, but Davey can cool it just a bit. Maybe this is a veteran-type move. This is an experienced-type move. Maybe. Let's see.
There you see Bobby Hillin and Rusty Wallace running side by side in turns 3 and 4 coming through. Here comes a white flag from Harold Kinder.
When he crosses the stripe, 2.66,
there it is.
35 degrees miles to go.
His wife hoping that Davey can hang on for one more lap. And Joey Knuckles, the young crew chief on this car, may be winning his first Winston Cup event ever.
No conversation. Joey just looking down, checking the stopwatch, checking the chart. He's making sure they've done everything right. Anything to keep your mind off of the emotion. Davey Allison, a half a lap to go.
Let's watch and see if Davey Allison can win the Winston 500. He's in turns 3 and 4. He's on to the tri-oval, a short straightaway connecting turn 4 and the dog leg here in front of the grandstand. He's a few feet away from the checkered flag. There it is. Davey Allison wins. Terry Labonte finishes second. And Dale Earnhardt finished fourth. He was passed by the number 21 car of Kyle Petty as they came down. So Kyle Petty picks up third and Earnhardt drops to fourth. Then Bobby Hillin Jr. and Rusty Wallace.
The sweetest victories are the first-time winners.
What is it about Talladega that produces these first-time winners?
The high sign from Dale Earnhardt. He leaned out the window and gave the okay sign to Davey. He said, young man, you drove yourself one heck of a race.
There's Joey Knuckles receiving the congratulations from the people in the pits. And the spectators are cheering Davey Allison as he has his hand in the air.
Davey Allison has had a shot at a couple of other races this year. He's had a couple of crashes that he's had to survive. He's been fast every time out. They opened everybody's eyes when they debuted with a rookie driver at Daytona. They qualified on the front row. He has a pole already in 1987, and now he has a win. Davey Allison has qualified for the 2 special races in NASCAR for 1987. He has put his name into the record books along with his father. Trying to get unhooked, and the crew absolutely mobbing him. He's still shaking hands on the other side of the car. Davey trying to get unhooked, and Davey, a tremendous race. Congratulations.
I'll tell you, Jerry, this Haviland Motor Oil special here, I'm going to tell you what, this thing just been awesome all day. These guys did a super job on this car, and I could do anything I wanted to with it. I'm going to tell you what, I'm just tickled to death.
Well, Bill Elliott said he thought he was the only one that possibly could handle you as he's trying to look for his cap. There he gets the sponsor mark put on his head, and they're still celebrating. Davey, it looked like possibly you and Bill Elliott were the only two that could run together out there.
Well, Bill he was pretty strong right there at the first of the race, and I just tried to ride along with him and keep my car ready for the end of the race. And there toward the middle, everybody started running side by side, and it let me get away. Let me just take it easy on the car all day, and that saved it for the end. And I'm going to tell you what, this Allen Motor Oil racing team they're the best, I'm telling you what.
Well, they're pumped out here. Not only does he win the Winston 500, he now is the newest entry into Winston, the richest race per mile in NASCAR, coming up in a couple of weeks, $600,000, and he bumps Buddy Baker from that race. Davey Allison climbs from the car. The fortunes of the Allison family celebrating in victory lane.
Well, champagne all over the place, but happiness in the victory lane area as Davey Allison wins, followed by Terry Labonte. Kyle Petty was third, Dale Earnhardt was fourth, and Bobby Hillin Jr. finished in fifth position. Just a tremendous race here this afternoon at Talladega.